T-REV, and he joins us now.
You can be whatever you want. Get rid of the fake and it will add up. All my life I strive for greatness. I manifest in my time with patience. People try to copy us, but respect is earned. It's not an obligation. I love the fam and they love me back, and that's why I always have it back. I give a voice to those people who were never given a chance for them slimy cats. When you come here, you ain't a number to me. I really take time to read what I see. Don't forget to lock your doors, cause there's danger all up in these streets. Y'all really put life into the air that I breathe. I really am thankful for all of my peeps.
Yo, hold up. Let me pop this up real quick and let's get going. What's going on, Maria? Haters gonna hate. Eastern girl in the building. June, Midwest. What's going on? Don't forget to hit the like and get the algorithm going, says Mom to 5 Kings. What's going on, Mom to 5 Kings? It's been a minute. What? 8-9 days? We're good, though. Sick as a dog, too, but I don't know why it's taking so long to load up on screen, but it's been doing that. Bing bong. All right, here we go. Let's dive into it because right here it is. Guy, he says defense says the prosecution knew about these witnesses ahead of time and didn't raise their objection until today. The defense insists their testimonies will be relevant to their motion to compel the state to hand over DNA profiles they've gathered in discovery. Now, Guy says Judge says the proposed witnesses could provide background into genetic genealogy. He adds that because this is a death penalty case, it's important to add these witnesses to the record. He also wants to make sure both sides are heard, but overrules the objections. So, hey, you know what I mean? WD Mama says, hey, what's going on? We're back. What's going on? Shout out to you. Bing bong. Candy in the building. What's going on? Arlene Wiley. What's going on, Chris? Shout out to you. Let's go ahead and get these updates going, though. So, okay, that's 18 hours ago. I was seeing a lot of different shit going on here. Congested. We are congested. Rue. Shout out to Rue. Texas Ranger said, my boy, my bot. I think he said my boy. I think that's what you really meant. Eastern girl, what's going on? Walat Harris in the building. Shout out to you, my brother. Natasha says hello, everyone. Angel, what's going on? Welcome. Bernadette Thomas, about time. Says about time. Yeah, we're locked in. Electra, what's going on? Low, missed you too. Thank you. I appreciate you. Electra, what's going on? Julie. All right, let's update and keep going. Let's update and keep going. Now, hold on. Let's see if that's 4 minutes ago. We already read that. So nothing new yet. Nothing new yet. So we're waiting on that. And I'll zoom this in too. Maybe we'll just go full screen. Make it better. What's going on, Buck Cherry? So I'm interested to see what happens today in this case in general. Are they going to get rid of the grand jury indictment? Are they going to throw all this stuff out? Or, I mean, not all this stuff, really. It's the grand jury indictment, but are they going to get rid of it? I don't think so. I just don't see that happening, but it is what it is. Danny Martin says T-REV is in the fucking house. Appreciate you, bro. Sue Minna, what's going on? Make sure you guys hit the like button as you're coming in. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We ain't going nowhere, baby. We are in the mix. Lisa Cook says, praying you after feeling better. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate your prayers. How is everyone? I haven't been on in a while. I've missed y'all. What's going on, Andrea? Welcome. What is true says, I'll be listening. Good to see you all. What is true? That's my homegirl right there. Nothing yet? Still nothing. Okay, right now we do got an update coming in. It says defense is looking for information on 3 DNA profiles that aren't connected to Mr. Kohberger, 2 in the house and 1 in the house. State argues that they don't have those profiles and that they've given everything they have to the defense. Still waiting on 1 lab report. So they're still waiting on 1 lab report. See, that's what I was talking about last time when I was on with Todd, which Todd will be on here again with me very soon. And shout out to Todd. I appreciate Todd for, keeping close contact. I got to know what's going on. Rep Gang strong, baby. You already know the deal. I need to get a different clap. I've seen people complaining about like it being too loud or something. I got you. The Spiritual Genie LLC. Hey, family. I got a note says, damn, good to see you. It's nice to see you too, Granny. Did I miss anything? No, not so far. I mean, only things that have been said are just, little things right here. Waiting outside. Well, no, we read that already. Defense says the prosecution knew about these witnesses ahead of time and didn't raise their objection till today. Defense insists their testimonies will be relevant to their motion to compel the state to hand over DNA profiles they gathered in discovery. Now it says Judge says the proposed witnesses could provide background into genetic genealogy. He adds that because this is a death penalty case, it's important to add these witnesses to the record. He also wants to make sure both sides are heard, but overrules the objections. I mean, that's really all you've missed so far. But I mean, let's go back up and look at the update, which was defense is looking for information on 3 DNA profiles that aren't connected to Mr. Kohberger. 2 in the house and 1 in the house. State argues that they don't have those profiles and that they given everything they have to the defense. Still waiting on 1 lab report. So it says that they're still waiting on 1 lab report. I'm wondering about that. What's going on? Thank you, CK. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, big sis. Marlena in the building. What's going on, Marlena? But yeah, this was the last update so far. Danny said, love the background, bro. I got plenty of them. Excuse me. Got a damn cold. All right, let's update and see what we got here. Any updates? Nope. 1 minute. Okay. Prosecutor Thompson, we given everything we've gotten from the lab. I don't know what else to say. We've given everything that we know to exist. Defense also asking for a log of communication between prosecution and the lab. So again, Prosecutor Thompson, we've given everything we've gotten from the lab. I don't know what else to say. We're given everything that we know to exist. And now he says defense also asking for a log of communication between prosecution and the lab. Now, there's another update right here. Thompson getting a little fired up here. He says they're asking for something that don't exist. We'll put in another inquiry to the lab for other communications. But as far as we know, everything has already been provided to the defense. So they've already provided everything is what Thompson is saying. So he's getting fired up. Damn, I like to see that.
Oh my God.
We like that. Miss Trev. Thank you, Ali. I appreciate you. Miss you guys too. It's been a minute. What, 8-9 days? Al Bundy, welcome back, Trev. Miss you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you, my brother. Al Bundy in the building. Candy says, I thought they were allowing cameras. Yeah, we'll find out. There ain't no cameras that I've seen. And I was looking just before. I took a shower. Once I got in here, I took a shower and then came straight in. I had to take care of some business, but yeah, we're good now. Bernadette Thompson, thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to Bernadette. I'll get a new clap for you guys too, a shorter one that's not so damn loud because I've seen some people talking about it and I do hear you. I got you. I'm going to switch it out during this. Okay, so we read this. We're just waiting on a new update. So again, if you just came in, Thompson is getting fired up in the courtroom. He says they are asking for something that don't exist. So Prosecutor Thompson, we're giving everything we've gotten from the lab. So he's basically just telling them, hey, I gave you everything. What else do you want from me? You're asking for something that don't exist. You're arguing with shit that's not there. What is True says, can't wait to see the updates from this court hearing. What's going on, Nina? Nina in the building. Wendy says, feel better soon. Missed your face. Thank you. I appreciate you. Face is here. We're good. We are good. We are good, baby. R Baller says, prayers to your family. T. Thank you. I appreciate you, R Baller. Ali says, the judge said he wants to hear all, I believe. Let's see if we got any updates. Let's update this whole thread real quick. Do we have anything? Nope. Nothing yet. Maybe we shouldn't. I don't want to quote it. Let's just repost it. Let's repost this one and let's repost that one. Got to repost them. Let's get fired up real quick. 47 minutes. So this is what it looked like there. Who's that? It looks like Jennifer's there right there, doesn't it? It looks like Coffin Duffer. Nothing. No updates yet. We're still waiting for the updates. Nothing yet. Last thing that was said was, never mind. Here we go. New update. So, witness being sworn in. Stephen Mercer, defense starting their questioning. He says he's a licensed attorney in Maryland and DC with an area of specialization in DNA and forensic investigation. Okay. So that's our update right here that you're seeing on your screen. Don't think so. Let me catch up on some comments while we're waiting for the next update. Praying you are feeling better, not after. Texas Ranger, hey Delana, my dear. Thank you, June. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I turned it down too. How about that? We turn it down. I'll turn it down. Maria says, don't think the grand jury will be dismissed. Athena says, hey, T-REV. What's going on, Athena? Kathy says, have you had your live regarding pool party? If so, I can't find it. No, we'll be having that real soon, though. If not after this stream later on, tomorrow. Okay, witness be all right. We did see that. No updates yet to this one yet. So we're still waiting. Lollipop, 8 months. Thank you. I appreciate you. There's my big brother. Glad to be here. T. Lovey. Thank you, Lollipop. I appreciate you. 8 months. 8 months Lollipop's been here. Ray says, T, you need to eat honey every day, then you won't get congested. This horrible in air. I need to take some damn what do they call it? I have some vitamin C and all different types of stuff, but it'll help me. I'm surprised I didn't take any today. So we've seen this again. No updates. Thompson getting a little fired up here. He says they are asking for something that doesn't exist. We'll put in another inquiry to the lab for other communications. But as far as we know, everything has already been provided to the defense. Guy says witness being sworn in. Stephen Mercer, defense starting their questioning. He says he's a licensed attorney in Maryland and DC with an area of specialization in DNA and forensic investigation. Can we get it? Where's our update at? Defense says the prosecution knew about these witnesses ahead of time and didn't raise their objection until today. Defense assists their testimonies will be relevant to their motion to compel the state to hand over DNA. Okay, so we've seen this already. What's taking so long for an update? What do they got going on in there? Marin Sweet, what's going on? Andrea says if they do throw it out, they will just put a new grand jury together. You think so? You think they'll put a brand new grand jury together if they did throw it out? That's the first time I heard somebody say that. That is the first time I heard somebody say that. Gypsy, what is true? Delana, 7 months. Thank you. I appreciate you, D. Can we get an update, though? We need them updates. Still nothing. Why do I feel like we're missing something, but we're not? Show more replies. He's getting a little fired up because he lying. Damn. Still nothing. You know what? While we're waiting on that to update, I'm going to pull up a different tab too. I'm going to pull up this tab just in case they get something before them and we'll be able to jump to it beforehand. Several motions set to be heard today. So there are several motions to be set or set to be heard today. The judge and parties begin with some housekeeping matters to take up some objections the state and expert witnesses. The defense wants to call today surrounding its motion to compel discovery for all things related to genetic genealogy investigation that honed in on Bryan Kohberger. We know that. Surprised he ain't wrote nothing else yet. Excuse me. I'm guessing it's very quiet in that courtroom right now, huh? Local honey, Trev. What's going on, Pittsburgh? Hey, T-REV, man, I missed you. I love you, man. Thank you. I love you back, Pittsburgh. What is true? 6 months. I appreciate you. Black Cat says 2 in the house and 1 in the house. Truth don't lie. 7 months. Thank you. Shout out to you and what is true. I appreciate you guys. 2 in the house, 1 in the house. 2 in the house and 1 in the house. Where the heck did that come from? And where's our updates? Because I don't see none. 10 minutes ago. Okay, so we seen that. I'm gonna just leave it right here. What's going on, Sheba? Sheba in the building. Great to see you too, Zoe. Midwest. What's going on, Midwest? Hold up. We need this like this, right? We're just waiting for them updates. Okay, here we go. New update. New update just came in. Mercer says he's here to offer his experience and forensic information as it pertains to the defense of a case and providing background into why an attorney should investigate DNA evidence and do their due diligence. So that was the response after the Maryland and DC attorney. Gene Santana, what's going on? Hello, Trev and chat. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're doing well too. Lock your doors. Lock your doors. Watch out. Stalkers like Kohberger and many others are out there. Chitty Chat, what's going on, Chitty Chat? Nice to see you. Woody in the building. Oh, I see you, Mouthy Mama. Thank you, Mouthy Mama. I appreciate you. Turn that crap down too. Leezer, what's going on? And let's actually repost this. We missed you. Thank you, Just Jen. I missed you too. It's nice to see all the familiar faces around here. Maria, yeah, feeling better. A little, you know. I have a cold though right now. Bought the house. You said bought the house on Archer Avenue in the winter of his 35th career? Huh? What's going on, Alicia? Shout out to Alicia. You know, she sent them warning shots out. Pop, pop. Right from Jump Street. Don't ever question Alicia. She's official. Tell him, Bill. Bill's on their head. Yo, Bill's on their bumper. Like, Bill's not playing. Bill got fired up. Thompson is getting a little fired up here. He says they are asking for something that don't exist. We'll put in another inquiry to the lab for other communications. But as far as we know, everything has already been provided to the defense. Witness being sworn in. Stephen Mercer defense starting their questioning. He says he's a licensed attorney in Maryland and DC with an area of specialization in DNA and forensic investigation. Mercer says he's here to offer his experience and forensic information as it pertains to the defense of a case and providing background into why an attorney should investigate DNA evidence and do their due diligence. We know what they're aiming for. We know what the hell they're aiming for. They want that crap thrown out. Azabella Barbosa. What's going on, Barbosa? You got Barbosa in the building. Cameras, yes, but not able to live stream. We'll show when over, I'm sure. Yeah, they usually take like 30 minutes to an hour. They usually take like 30 minutes to an hour. Arlene Wiley says, Trev, it's been too long. It's all good. I had a few things I had to take care of, but we're good. Got the ball rolling, and now it's game time. Sylvie says, missed your face, T. Oh, well, we're right here. You know, we're right here. We're good. No updates, though? What's going on with this? Okay, here we go. Another update. He says it's crucial for a defense attorney to know about the testing methods for DNA profiles to ensure a fair trial and investigation, especially when making challenges in the case, including relating to the Fourth Amendment pre-trial. So that's that update. Let's go ahead. I didn't want to quote it. We didn't want to quote that. Repost. We didn't want to quote that. Asking for something that don't exist. Damn. Yeah, Thompson ain't playing with him. I can't wait to actually see the video playback of this. Defense is out and out deceptive. Hope they will get sanctioned. Hey, y'all. Glad to see you back, T. Thank you, Blank. I appreciate you. Little Miss Innocence. What's good, y'all? Good to see you live again, Trev. Danny Martin, I finally stepped up and have got you on the big screen. This is where it's at. Any update yet? Okay, so another update right here. Mercer also adds, it's crucial for defense attorneys to investigate how reliable the testing methods of the DNA profiles are in the reliability of the test results themselves. The reliability, my bad, I done read that wrong. Reliability. So again, Mercer also adds it is crucial for the defense attorneys to investigate how reliable the testing methods of the DNA profiles are and the reliability of the test results themselves. So okay, we got that. Let's repost it. Just for anyone who's following. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate you. Mom to 5 Kings says, do you think the defense keeps this up so if new evidence arises prior to trial, they will have a leg to stand on or be able to have some things suppressed? They're going to do everything that they possibly can. They're throwing the kitchen sink, as Ann Taylor said before. They're going to do everything that they possibly can. Heidi, what's going on? You're welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Make sure you guys hit the like button as you're coming in. If you're new, smash the subscribe button to keep up. What? Hi ho, hi ho. I'm happy you're doing this. This is the best for the Twitter relying to us. What's going on? I appreciate you. You're welcome. You are welcome. Let's see. Okay, so we're still waiting for an update here. I missed you too, Maldy Mama. Hollis, what's going on? Hollis in the building. Raw local honey, T-REV. I got some honey in there right now. Sorry, I'm late, says Jeep Girl. Well, I mean, we only started like 23 minutes ago. Wow, you sound really stuffed up. I am. I'm definitely stuffed up. I am definitely stuffed up. Yeah, let's update this. Whole family is here. Man, a lot of y'all I see. CR. Thank you, CR. Midwest girl, CR, 8 months. Midwest, 7 months. Haters gonna hate. The whole family is here. You're absolutely right. They never let me down. Family don't play. Family stands on business. T-REV, have you looked into Bryan Kohberger linked to Dana Smithers' death. Kohberger's parents are testifying in an investigation of her death. I'm not sure if you have talked about this. Absolutely. We covered it when they went to the what excuse me. Didn't they have to go to a grand jury? And this was like 3 months ago or 4 months ago, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like it's been 2 to 4 months. They had to go to a grand jury. I remember that happening, and we talked about it on live a couple times, actually. Vicky, what's going on? Nice to see you. Nice to see all the familiar faces. Social Butterfly, Hollis, Rue, Mom to Five Kings, Lollipop, Prosser Gang. There's a lot of familiar faces in here. What's going on, Robert Bell? Familiar face also. Patty. You need a hot toddy. A hot toddy. Big Dirty says, so Ann Taylor is calling other defense attorneys to testify. She must need help doing her job.
Oh my God! Bing bang.
Yep, Vicky is the best. Can we get an update? I feel like Brian Enton just got, when he's up in that joint, boy, you got back to back. He's typing everything that they say and dropping it. I feel like I've been waiting for an hour to start every little reply here. But shout out to Guy for even being in there, though. Shout out to him. You got that right. Rev Gang strong.
Finish him.
Aries for 5 months. Shout out to Aries. I appreciate you. 5 months. Thank you. 5 months of being in the Rev Gang family. I appreciate you, Aries. I appreciate you, Midwest, CR, Leezer, Maldy Mama, What is True, Truth Don't Lie, June, Bernadette, CKI, all the reals. Okie Angel, 7 months. Dang. Mercer also adds, it's crucial. Yeah, so we're still waiting. It's been, I don't know, it's like 5 minutes per response. It feels like. That's what it feels like to me. 5 minutes per response. I've missed you, Trev. I hope you get to feeling better, bro. Thank you. I appreciate you, Ryan. I just have a little cold. Like I had when I first got up, I had the chills and all different types of weird shit. Never know. Could be covered. I did too. Between experts and attorneys, BK has 10 people being paid. You said being paid by the taxpayers. Who else would get this type of representation? Only the guilty. Still no update. So we're still waiting on that update. But the thread is right here. Let me try to get you as much as you can read. We're still waiting on the update from this response and this response right here. Mama Stormy. Fuck yeah. Only got an hour and a half left. Hannah says, so glad you're back. God, I missed this. Thank you, Hannah. Andrea says, well, Ann Taylor doesn't have very much to work with, but she is trying her best to pick apart everything the prosecution does. She is bringing in her own genealogy pros to see if it was handled correct. Let's see what else we got. That ain't too loud. It's a little background, Give us some sound while we're waiting for these updates. Can we get some updates? 6 minutes ago. Who knows if it shouldn't be over. Never left, says lady. Fringe report, vitamin C, or the vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc will zap it. Should I go in the other room and grab it? I have some in my book bag. I brought it with me. You need a mix of honey, lemon, and bourbon. It will knock that mess out of you, says Brenda. Excuse me. Stormy says, here is to a new day. We appreciate you for today and always. To the fam and to you are loved. Now let's rev up.
Bing bang.
Thank you, Stormy. I appreciate you. Thank you. Aries, thank you. Aries, 5 months. Jammers, 1 month. Feel better. You were missed. Thank you, Jammers. I appreciate you. Can we get an update? I feel like, we'll go through the whole thing again since we're waiting on updates. So if you just came in here, this thread's long, actually. All settled in the courtroom. Should be underway shortly. We read that. Mr. Kohberger just arrived in the courtroom wearing a suit and tie. Judge John Judge has just walked in as well, and we are on the record. Several motions on the docket this morning, including a motion to stay the proceedings and discussions on genetic genealogy during the discovery portion of the case. Mr. Kohberger's defense will be testifying first, but not after the state raises objections to their witnesses. So then it kept going on. Defense says the prosecution knew about these witnesses ahead of time and didn't raise their objection until today. Defense insists their testimonies will be relevant to their motion to compel the state to hand over DNA profiles they gathered in discovery. So it came out after that. Judge says the proposed witnesses could provide background into genetic genealogy. He adds that because this is a death penalty case, it is important to add these witnesses to the record. He also wants to make sure both sides are heard, but overrules the objections. So defense is looking for information on 3 DNA profiles that aren't connected to Mr. Kohberger. So here we hear about 3 DNA profiles that are possibly not, or that aren't connected to Kohberger. So again, the defense is looking for information on 3 DNA profiles that aren't connected to Mr. Kohberger, 2 in the house and 1, or 2 in the house and 1 in the house. That doesn't even make sense. And I'm glad y'all were talking about that earlier, because now it's ringing a bell. It says 2 in the house and 1 in the house. What the heck?
Excuse me. The fuck did you just say?
That's the type of moment we just had there. State argues that they don't have profiles and they're giving everything they have to the defense. Still waiting on 1 lab report. I think it was just an error on his part. So maybe, it kind of is important for accurate information. Again, defense is looking for information on 3 DNA profiles that aren't connected to Mr. Kohberger. 2 in the house and maybe 1 outside is what he meant. I don't know. We'll wait to hear about that. State argues that they don't have those profiles and they are giving everything they have to the defense, still waiting on 1 lab report. Now, Guy says, Prosecutor Thompson, we're given everything we've gotten from the lab. I don't know what else to say. We've given everything that we've known to exist. Defense also asking for a log of communication between prosecution and the lab. Thompson getting a little fired up here. He says they are asking for something that don't exist. We'll put in another inquiry to the lab or for other communications. But as far as we know, everything has already been provided to the defense. So then they had the witness being sworn in, Stephen Mercer, defense starting their questioning. He says he's licensed attorney in Maryland and DC with an area of specialization in DNA and forensic investigation. Mercer says he is here to offer his experience in forensic information as it pertains to the defense of a case and providing background into why an attorney should investigate DNA evidence and do their due diligence. Now, he says it's crucial for a defense attorney to know about the testing methods for DNA profiles to ensure a fair trial and investigation, especially when making challenges in the case, including relating to the 4th Amendment pretrial. Now, Mercer also adds it's crucial for the defense attorneys to investigate how reliable the testing methods of DNA profiles are and the reliability of the test results themselves. Let's update and see what we got. We have nothing yet. What's going on, Guy? Let's check you out real quick. Let's back out of here and see if we missed anything. Okay, so that was the last post. So that was the last post right here. We're still waiting for stuff to be added, and this was a little bit over 10 minutes ago. Okay. Hope you're doing well today. Texas Angel. Shout out to Texas Angel. I didn't see Texas Angel, but shout out to Texas Angel. Maybe I was reading. Hi, T. Sounds like you're a bit under the weather. Hope you're on the up and up. Yeah, thank you. I do feel like crap. I do have a fever. I can feel myself burning, but I mean, what more can I do? I already took medicines and stuff like that, but we're good. Vicky Lou says, missed you, Trev. Can't write than watching on Roku. Feel better. Thank you. I appreciate you, Vicky. Somebody tweeted that Steve G is sitting basically in BK back pocket. Not confirmed, though.
Oh, my God.
An attorney is testifying, I think, says Allie. Let's see what we got. No updates? Wow, still no updates. I'm searching for other updates on other threads, by the way.
I am taking over the Court TV Twitter page to bring you live updates from inside the Latah County Courthouse here for a pivotal hearing against the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students last November. Stay tuned and follow this thread.
Stay tuned and follow this thread, they say. So, okay. Let's see what else we got in this thread. I'm going to go to this thread since it's been a minute since there was an update in there. Thank you, June, by the way, for tagging me in that. First emotion. Okay, I see that. They still haven't given an update, though, from that. Says there are several motions to be heard. We've seen that already. We're still waiting for some updates. So Taylor has no shame per my last message. Social Butterfly says, let's all send prayers for strength. Poor Steve is in court with BK. He needs all the prayers he can get. Yeah. Bourbon. Thank you, Aries. Let me catch up here. Literally just got here. I'm down for a recap. Yeah, it says 3 DNA profiles in the house. Now, let's talk about it. 3 DNA profiles in the house. Let's get back to that. Before we get back to that, let's just check and see. Okay, there is no updates. Hold up. Okay, so we did read that. So again, let's pull that specific one up because that's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, right here. Look. So, specifically, it says defense is looking for information on 3 DNA profiles that aren't connected to Mr. Kohberger, 2 in the house and 1 in the house. Do you think that matters? I think it does. I think you got to clear that. Donna R, missed you. So glad you were back. Thank you, Donna. Blank says if it is the glove, crazy. It took almost 2 weeks for some other person to either pick it up or find it. I gotta know. It says planned witnesses being escorted out of the courtroom by AT. Okay. Yeah, let's rev it up for sure. You already know. Papa Sal's under the weather himself right now. Prayers for Papa Sal. He's definitely sick as a dog right now. Midwest Girl says, why does it feel wrong to me that the defense should be allowed to have attorneys as DNA experts? I mean, it can feel wrong, but, you know, for everybody in America, you definitely got to have a defense. And they can hire a lot of shit. They can hire a lot of shit. Hold up. What? Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Love Steve G. We're still waiting for updates. But again, I don't know. This is kind of weird, though, guys. What is your take on 3 DNA profiles that aren't connected to Mr. Kohberger, 2 in the house and 1 in the house? I don't understand the way that was put on there. I really don't. I don't understand it. And I don't know why we're not getting any, updates either.
Oh my God.
Jackie, thank you. I appreciate you. 7 months, Jackie. I could stop it early too. I never thought about that. French Report says, good. I hope Steve gives BK the stank eye I would have for him. Hope you feel the love in here, T-REV. Absolutely. Always. Always. It's Sudafed season. I took some allergy medicine, but I don't know. I'm like burning up right now. I am extremely hot. My face probably tell, like, you can see it in my face. I'm extremely hot. Woo! Extremely hot. Lori says, wow, I didn't know there was another hearing. Let's just get justice. We have no updates either yet, guys. So we're still waiting on updates. I don't know what's going on in the courtroom, but I am doing some searching while we're talking here. How does the prosecution not have the results of the other 3 DNA tests? That is a friggin' great question. Should be 1,000 DNA profiles in that house. That is true. I mean, you know, they were known to have, you could see people over there on that body cam footage hanging out, drinking, and you know, people went in and out of there during parties. Come on now, a lot of DNA. Anything good just got here. Yeah, they're talking about the 3 DNA profiles that are unknown. They're looking for the DNA. There's 3 DNA profiles that are 2 in the house and 1 in the house, allegedly. This is what's going on. 3 DNA profiles that aren't connected to Mr. Kohberger, 2 in the house and 1 in the house. What that means, I don't know. Okay, let's look at this. Let me pull up to right here. I'm checking for updates on the other screen right now. Defense. Okay, so here we go. All right. So defense has finished questioning Mr. Mercer. Prosecution doesn't have any questions and he's dismissed. So Mercer has been dismissed and we've entered a 10-minute recess. Okay, so there's that update. It took a minute and it says right here. Here's an update to this, by the way. Let's pull this over here. So it says, and he had to fix this. I bet he was probably getting drilled for it. Defense is looking for information on 3 DNA profiles that aren't connected to Mr. Kohberger, 2 in the house and 1 in the house. So he goes, correction. The defense is looking for more information on 2 DNA profiles from inside the house and 1 from outside the house. So there's the correction on that. Repost. So they're in a 10-minute recess right now. Updates in Moscow taking forever. JB says, what's going on, JBs? They call me Mimi. T-REV, have you listened to the video from the Ring door cam behind the King Road house? It's mostly sound. It's chilling. Yeah, that's been debunked. If you go on Court TV, they debunked that. I don't know if you're talking about a different one, but I've never seen no one leaked besides the one that was debunked by Court TV. Thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate you. Thank you for the love. I appreciate you. Kathy says there were 2 DNAs found near bodies and 1 in a glove found outside. Need to find and clear, but as many kids that were in and out of that house, not surprising in my opinion, says Kathy Crow. Renee says 1 outside of the house. Yep. That's what I was figuring. I was figuring it was going to be 2 inside and 1 outside. That 1 outside might even be the glove. And I seen some accusations going out towards, who was it? Chris McDonough? Like people were saying, I bet he planted that there so he could get YouTube viewers. It's like, I seen people saying that shit. No doubt. I think Chris McDonough planted that there just so he can get some YouTube viewers. It's Detective Stalky Pickens. That's how they say it. Sal, feel better. Shout out to Sal. We did prayers in chat for him. Rebecca says you need antibiotics. I might have to go to the, emergency. You never know. My fever ain't going down. 10-minute recess, by the way, in court. 10-minute recess. Been sick like Trev. Haven't been watching the news updates on Kohberger. I don't know, Ann. Maybe. You never know. I got a migraine and a fever. It was 101 earlier when I checked. Maria says for keeping a real big hug to you. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate you. So hold up. Let's pull this up. That's insane. he said 10-minute update or 10-minute recess. So we're waiting on the recess to be over. I don't know what they're gonna do after that. What are they gonna do after that? That's what I'm waiting on. T-REV is on fire, literally. Thank you. Yeah, I am actually burning. Absolutely. I mean, we talked about this though. We've talked about this. The DNA profiles that are in the house, we've been deep into that and talked about it. Well, they probably cleared them and they're just reaching. But I wonder what was said when this was brought up. You know what I mean? Like what was said in that courtroom when 3 DNA profiles are brought up that haven't been corroborated by anybody. It means he didn't do it alone, says Crass in Crime. So you think he did? You think he had help? I mean, you definitely need to find out whose DNA that is, in my opinion. But who am I? Allie says that can belong to kids that have no record. Diane says, hello, everyone. I'm here for the day. Texas Ranger says maybe in the vicinity of the deceased, question mark. I feel like if it's in the vicinity of the deceased, you definitely need to check out what, whose it is. And if it's in the crime scene, period. We're analyzing this 101. That it should definitely be in the crime scene. You know what I mean? If it's in the crime scene, you need to check the DNA. Analyst 101, baby. Debunked, says Chris Doheny. Chris Doheny says debunked. Okay. Detective Stalky Pickens. What's going on? Hold on. You can go to an urgent care or something, says Virginia. Yeah, I might. If it doesn't go down, I will. Can you take Advil T-REV? That will bring fever down. Yes, I did. I took dual sense. Listen to me. Dual action. Feel better. We're just waiting for some updates here. Live updates. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate you in the 7 months. Thank you. The support is real. A few of my coworkers have COVID right now. Oh, no. You're going to make me see. I'm the type that will go get a test because now I'm going to think of that. And I'm burning up right now, like burning. Yes, antibiotics. Yes, antibiotics. I'm on number 4. I stepped into a meter box, 11 stitches. We had to get meds. If don't get better, I'm diabetic. Well, prayers for you, Rebecca Thompson. I hope you heal properly. You could have a sinus infection and need antibiotics. It feels like it because the throat hurts. 219-85-9693. What is your thoughts and opinions? What's going on, Donna? What is going on? Donna in the building. Let me skip down a little bit. Feel better, Chad. Thank you, Donna. Helen says, did you take a jab? People feel burning feeling. No, I didn't take a jab, and I never will. I will not get that COVID test. I refuse to. Fever means you're fighting infection. Yeah, definitely. I think I am. Pollen levels are high. Damn, y'all are about to make me go to the emergency room. Literally. There is a new COVID variant ripping through the country, says Y23. Allergies crazy now. Mama Bear says feel better soon, T. Rest in fluids. Shit, I'm about to crush this water while y'all are talking about it. But it is hot as hell in here. Rest, fluids, and let that fever do the job. Could be strep. My throat does hurt. Ooh, I didn't think about that. I did just start Latuda. I switched over from my first medicine and turned on that one because the other one wasn't working. Flutter one says, T-REV, I just had a horrible cold that lasted 2 weeks. Ended up taking Sudafed for a week after to clear my sinuses. I thought it may be sinus infection too. Helped immensely. I might have to go get some today. I have to find out where at over here. So they're in recess, guys. We're waiting. I think it's a plan of population control. The reason I say that it's Bill Gates is already talking about another virus. How would he know unless it's planned? Damn. If you are sick, get off this and go to the doctors and get some rest. We all understand. Hope you feel better. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate you. I might need to. Like I said, I got a fever right now for sure. Fever for sure. 100%. Ice pack, vitamin C. All right, I'll go get some vitamin C. Hold up. Let's go get some vitamin C. Alrighty then. Immune support vitamin C. Let's see how this works out. Thank you, guys. Let's get back to it. They just found and discovered a secret illegal Chinese COVID. What? Is there a new update yet? Thank you for the great live tweeting. Thank you for the great. Why is everyone so afraid of a cold now? Not me. I do got a fever, though. I will say that. Taking my temperature right now. No, you tough it out, dang it. Been waiting for 8 days for this. Zank and ibuprofen. Maybe turmeric, too. Was this court hearing not going to be televised? Yeah, it's going to be uploaded in a little bit. It's just not televised. From what I was seeing, it wasn't going to be. I looked last night. But I'm still interested in these 3 profiles. We want to know about the 3 profiles. Lollipop. To get local honey that is sourced from local bees that carry pollen for your area. Take a teaspoon a day, whether you are sick or not. It builds up your immunities to local alert in your area. Thank you. I appreciate that, Lollipop. I did not know that. Thank you also, Sassy Sunflower. I see your comment. Let me see. I'm not seeing. We're still in recess? It's 12 minutes ago, so. Mon the 5 King says, oh my God, they asked me to silence my phone at the doctor. Can someone keep me posted in chat? Please and thank you. Mon the 5 Kings, I'm sure we got you. We are just waiting for an update. Now, June says, random, during break, in Idaho 4 hearing, Bryan Kohberger left the courtroom. Several members of Gonsalves family here, one with t-shirt promoting Idaho firing squad death penalty. I will say this, if he committed this crime, I'm not against the death penalty. I would never personally kill anyone. You know what I mean? Like, you would have to be trying to kill me or coming at me in a threatening way. Then I'll draw. But I just don't understand how could people go into this calculated plans of killing people. I think that's the point, and a lot of the reasons why we like true crime so much is because we want to know what makes a human plan to kill somebody. What makes you think that you are the judge of somebody else's life? You know what I mean? Cindy says Judge isn't allowing cameras in the court. I bet there's a lot of controversy around this case. I thought it was going to be on delay. Is that wrong? Says Midwest Mima. No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it anywhere. And I've been looking on one. I got a couple tabs open. Let's see what's going on here on this page. Any updates? Any new? Nothing whatsoever. Let's go down. Yep. So we're still in recess. We're just waiting for them to finish and keep going. But there is 3 other profiles of DNA, and I do want to, kind of talk about it. Hell yeah, I love that shirt, and I want one. CKI says I do the honey trick every day too, which reminds me I need more honey. Needed that reminder. Texas Ranger says that tells just how much time he really had. Who said I'm for the DP? Mouthy Mama said I'm for the DP. I wish I could come over for your cookies.
Excuse me. The fuck did you just say?
I'm just kidding. Christine said, I wish I could come over for your cookies. Tequila, lime, and salt will get you right, T-REV. Says 8-1-toe pig. Come on, I want these updates. Nothing, man. We're over here desperate for these updates. Mary Wilson says 1,000 milligrams vitamin C per day. Sniff ocean spray. Sniff it up well. Then blow nose spray 2 sprays. Yeah, I have that spray that you're talking about. 2 actually. I have 2 bottles of it. Get better. Get off from Walmart and get better. Hollis says, am I crazy to think the prosecution should give me everything?
Bing bang.
Yeah, we're gonna have the one about the pool party too, but we need to dive into the whole 3 DNA profiles that police don't know about. Okay, here we go. Back in session. Important to note, it looks like the Gonsalves family is in attendance. Let's go.
Bing bang.
In attendance, the Gonsalves family. Love it. Boston Hippie says, so happy to see you, T-REV and Rev Gang. Do you think they actually court case will be televised? Oh, following this from the UK? Yeah. Right now it's looking like it's going to be like the Vallow case. So I don't know, but that's just my personal opinion. Groot says Court TV is showing trial now for 10-minute break. Showing trial. What trial? The firing squad. We'll find out in 2 seconds. I'll tell you in 2 seconds. Let's see. Hold up, I got it pulled up right now.
Mr. Kohberger is speaking so that we can do our job. Your Honor, you're going to hear from a witness, Leah Larkin, Dr. Leah Larkin, as well, and she's going to talk about the process of genetic genealogy. Both Ms. Barlow and Mr. Mercer are attorneys. Both are well-versed in criminal defense. Both are well-versed in DNA and genetic genealogy. The state's position has been that this is not discoverable because we're not going to present it at trial. That's not the end of the story. That's not the discovery rule. And those are the things that Becca Barlow and Steve Mercer will talk about. Becca Barlow has a lot of training in DNA.
Thank you.
She does a lot of teaching on DNA as well. It's not a simple little process, and they'll describe what kinds of materials we should have in discovery. Mr. Mercer will talk about what we will do with those kinds of materials and why they're necessary to Mr. Kohberger's presentation, the preparation of his case. They'll talk about our constitutional duties to Mr. Kohberger. Those are not conclusions.
No, this is new.
Things that have to do with this material, these things that we're seeking the court to order the state to hand over to us, and why they're necessary to the preparation of the case. So for those 2 witnesses, I can make the argument, but I don't have the expertise in the DNA or the genetic genealogy that the court needs to hear to understand that they fall squarely within our discovery rule. Your Honor, I'll speak about Gabriela Vargas now. Her declaration was disclosed yesterday. Much of that declaration has CD-related items in it. It talks about her background, her training, right in the body of that declaration. That declaration is not as soon as we would have wanted that. Gabriela Vargas met with me a few weeks ago, and for personal reasons that I'm not going to put on the record, she was unable to complete that until a later period of time. So that one is late. I know that one came in yesterday. She's here, she's prepared
Is it
to
the
be
new cupboard?
examined by the state, and certainly there are many other remedies besides just excluding her. The court could allow us to present her testimony, and the state doesn't feel that
They're
they
not
have
supposed to.
opportunity to cross-examine her or present a
Yes.
witness in response to her. The court could leave this open and take that up. The court could even order Ms. Vargas to appear by Zoom for further cross-examination. But we should at least let her testimony come out here in court today. She's here, Your Honor.
They're not supposed to, Happy Dude, at all. Remember? The judge said that.
Your Honor, I think Ms. Taylor has just conceded that these attorney witnesses are going to be testifying about the scope of discovery rules. I don't think that that's appropriate. I think that Ms. Taylor can make those arguments to the court that having bound witnesses interpret the law is not appropriate in a discovery dispute. As to Ms. Vargas, our understanding was that there were 3 witnesses testifying today, and that was our understanding up until yesterday when we got into town. So we would ask that Ms. Vargas be excluded. And I would note that we made our objections to these witnesses clear when we asked the court to disregard the contents of their declarations in Mr. Knight's reply brief. Certainly, we're going to put that same objection on the record. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Well, a couple of things. I'm concerned about these opinions about sort of constitutional law or the procedures of discovery. I think that's fully capable for all of the counsel here and for me. Those are going to be my decisions. However, in reading through, and I have read through all of the declarations, pointing on specifically genetic genealogy and their experience with that within the law, I think does have some relevance, potentially. And I think that it would go to the weight of the consideration. The other thing that I am concerned about is this is a death penalty case. And if I deny particular presentations that one or the other side believe have.
We've hit the top of the hour, so we do have to squeeze in a break, but you won't miss a moment of the Kohberger hearing there in Latah County, Idaho. Don't go anywhere. This is Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
Saturday on Laugh More, it's Chips. The California Highway Patrol. It should stand.
All right,
for
hold up, man. Let's go ahead and mute that. Detective Stalky Pickens. Let's look at the updates from live right now. All right, here we go. So, we got a little, nope. 7 minutes. Okay, so back in session. Let's go ahead and update this. Let's go to defense calling in. Yep, I seen somebody talking about that in chat. Lee Larkin, a professional genetic genealogist from California, to the stand. A lot of us really looked her up already. Defense asked how Dr. Larkin got involved in the case. She says her role is to educate on how genetic genealogy works in the role of investigations. So that's where we're at on the updates on this part. We'll get back to watching the other part and keep bouncing back and forth between updates. I think that's a better idea here. Right? That's what I think. Let's hit that, and we wait for updates there while watching that. We'll just wait for that to come back on, though. It's so hard seeing him. I can't imagine the families. And thank you, Angelica. I appreciate you. She's a DP attorney from a different area, says CG. CG says, okay. Jillian Arnold says, if there were other DNA profiles, then I think it's safe to assume it wasn't that Emma chick and her boyfriend conspiracy. Wouldn't their DNA be in that law enforcement DNA system? Absolutely, 100%. 100%. Okay, so we know. All right, so we're just waiting for updates. We're still waiting for updates here. Nothing here yet. We got a couple seconds. I'm sure it'll be right back on, and we'll continue watching that and then bouncing back and forth. Dr. Larkin used the exact same method FBI did to identify a 27-year-old case. Damn. Mama Stormy says, wow, just crazy. Yeah, hold on. It should be back on here in a second. Thank you, Mama Stormy. I appreciate you. Thank you. Was that live coverage, Conspiracy Caveman? Yes. It was just from about 30 minutes ago. They got the footage out already, so we'll continue watching that while following the updates here. Yep, last update was 3 minutes ago, which talks about Larkin being involved with the case. So defense asked how Dr. Larkin got involved with the case. She says her role is to educate on how genetic genealogy works and the role of investigations. Back here, and we'll continue to wait. The screen looks really out of focus to me, says Lily Bear. Maybe it's connection. You never know, Kathleen. Maybe do. It wouldn't be the first time. It'd be like the 5th time. Stormy says, thank you, Mama Stormy, for being here, and look forward to you being here for the months to come. What is going on? Florida versus Anthony, huh? Talking about the Casey Anthony case? Wow, that was one. Thank you, haters gonna hate. I appreciate you. Wonder how many bees are creeping. Never going to like the Rev Gang never going to be like the Rev Gang family. Absolutely, you already know what time it is. They wish they could. It'll never happen. No matter what happens. You know? Appreciate you. Midwest Meemaw says, stop. You're just spreading the defense's lie and deception. There is no unidentified DNA. I'm saying if they say, I want to hear what they say to it. You know what I mean? Like, we need to hear what they're saying to that because it makes no sense.
Students. Plus, the nationwide hunt to find this murder suspect before he strikes again. How a DNA match in another state is tied to the violent killing of a mom on a hiking trail. And
we're still waiting. Okay, let's see what these updates are real quick. They definitely need to talk about what it is. So here's another update that just came in. State tries to object to Dr. Larkin's presentation about genealogy terms, saying that they haven't seen the PowerPoint because they didn't know about it until today. Judge gives them 10 minutes to review it before she testifies. We're back in recess. So we're back in recess in court. This was 1 minute ago. So we're waiting for that to come around. Now, thank you, haters gonna hate. French Report says she must be an experienced paid expert witness. BK is OJ, of course. Beautiful Messy Ball says Emma and D weren't convicted of a felony. Their charges were dropped, so their DNA and TV collected and put in CODIS, I believe. I was never charged with a felony. Misdemeanors on my record, and they got my DNA in the system. Beautiful Messy Ball. They take your DNA now, no matter what. As far as I know, in certain states. CMBK makes me want to slap the F out of him. I can only imagine how the families feel. Gloria said it's maybe on court TV. I'm starting to burn up a little more. Nothing yet. And we're still waiting. FedEx driver shooting mistrial. So they have 10 minutes to review what Dr. Larkin's presentation was about. That's what they're doing. The defense is in recess right now, or the prosecution. The whole courtroom's in recess while they review that. So we're waiting for them to do that. Maria says they are back in recess. Yep. Better hope he's guilty or he'll end up rich off this shit. Absolutely. Ozzy says DNA testing is only as good as the person doing the testing. They can make mistakes. I think 3 separate labs should be used to be fully certain it's correct. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate you. Cap it right there. Yep, they're still not showing that one part, so we're kind of just sitting here in limbo right now, waiting for the next update. Shayna says, just came in. You sound terrible, T. Hope you feel better soon. Thank you, Shayna. Yeah, I'm completely stuffed. At least I can still smell, though. That's a good sign, right? That's a good sign. I think all of us know enough about DNA to understand this cheek swab matched the sheath. DNA is easy to explain. Haven't y'all seen Ari? The garbology said you are the father. Cheek swab said it BK. Tell him again, Regina. Speaking of Mari, cooking with Kiki, Sundays at home. Welcome to the Rev Gang family. I appreciate you joining. Thank you, Cooking with Kiki. Cooking with Kiki, she probably be cooking us some good meals, huh? Might have to check you out. 4 minutes ago. So, 4 minutes ago. We got another 6 minutes to wait on that. CODIS is fingerprinting database that law enforcement uses. Only those are arrested are in the database. Mouthy Mama, thank you. I appreciate you. Flutter One said, "Oh snap!" It's pretty crazy though that I don't know. They obviously the detectives decided that DNA that they found that was unknown was irrelevant to the case. I feel like they did investigate into it. Why would you just leave 3 DNA profiles unknown? I mean, if you sit there and just think about it, they're saying that there's 3 unknown DNA profiles. Would investigators just leave 3 unknown DNA profiles? I just don't see that happening in a case of this magnitude, but maybe it would. Maybe it did. I doubt it, though. The DNA could belong to household members. Boyfriends could belong to anybody, not necessarily means another suspect. Cook it with Kiki. Just join finally. Welcome. We appreciate you. Welcome to the Rev Game family. LZ Mama says defense is really trying to squeeze in all they can and slip ish under the radar. Patty says, how about Cecilia Moore? She's an expert in genetic genealogy. Demetrius Robertson, with his record, probably has a DNA in the system already. Thank you, group. Nothing on yet, though. Still nothing. They're not even showing it back on Court TV again either. Come on, Recess. The cost of 3 separate. Here, let's put this on. Showing live on TV. That was at 2:05. I don't see it. Nothing. I could be tripping though.
Any response? Your Honor, we didn't realize this was going to be an issue today. We have given the defense everything that we received from the lab. They've asked for DNA workups on other people. To the extent that they don't have them, they weren't done.
Damn, you were right.
Do something that doesn't exist. We provided everything. There's one outstanding lab report that relates to the forensic examination by the lab personnel of the crime scene itself. He received the bid. That's the only outstanding lab report. Everything else, along with all the notes, is
Thank you, Kelko.
been provided to the defense. They're hoping that there's something else there. It's not there.
Taylor? Well, Your Honor, part of our third motion to compel. It's still something that we don't have. We also don't have the unexpected corrective actions, unexpected results from the Idaho State Police Forensics Lab for the 6 months before and the 6 months after November 13th, 2022. We did get some, but it's a narrow scope, and we asked for the full year, 6 months before and 6 months after. That's also in our motion.
I understand your responsibility is to turn over every rock, but you can't get things that don't exist as well. So, I mean, there has to be some level of trust in discovery. You're all sworn attorneys. And so Mr. Thompson is saying that there's one more lab report that is coming your way today, I heard you say.
Maybe not today. We are waiting to receive it so that we can process it for discovery. It's supposed to be in any time.
Okay, I misunderstood that. So it's coming soon. It has to come soon because we're 6 weeks away from the trial. So we're going to be very rushed about a lot of things, but I'm going to talk about that a little more later too. So what about the other claim, Mr. Thompson? Do you want to address that? The other mistakes?
Corrective action log, unexpected result log. We have that in part, but not the full scope.
I don't know what exists that we
Get him, Bill.
We provided all the requests to the lab, and they've assured us that they have provided us with everything they have within the scope of those requests. I'm not sure what else to say. I mean, we can make a supplemental inquiry to clarify that after we finish in court today. But I'm kind of sitting here saying, Judge was giving me everything we know to exist.
Well, that would be wise to check on that.
We will.
Because we don't want this to come back on the eve of trial.
Yes, sir.
Or, 4 years from now at an appeal.
Yes, sir.
So we want to make sure that we have combed through all the information that has any bearing or argument of bearing on this case.
Ms. Jennings is making a note right now. We'll send the inquiry out later today.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Your Honor, just for some clarification, we also ask for all emails, text messages, electronic messages, or other messages. Some have been provided, but we don't have assurance that that's all. And so for the same reason, we want to make sure that we have the complete file.
Okay, Mr. Thompson.
We get told them.
Let's bring in our guest, Marie Pereira, defense attorney out of New York, joining us. Marie, always love having you on. And this, to me, is real baseball. And what I mean by that is we do this. If you're an attorney who does any kind of litigation, you do this.
Hold up. While we're waiting, we're about to check this real quick because there's updates from right now going on. Let's see what updates we missed. Okay, so they're back on the record 1 minute ago. Back on the record. State asked the court to reserve their cross-examination to consult with their own experts after looking through Dr. Larkin's PowerPoint. That's granted, which means Dr. Larkin may come back another time for more questions. Presentation now underway. So that's what's going on there. Let's jump back to here while we're waiting for another update.
Because it's not all about winning, it's about justice and truth. So if the DA used information to build their case, the defense is allowed to that information, especially like the judge says, this is a death penalty case where 4 lives were lost. So why play around with just that spirit of litigation and not give up discovery where you used it and they want to be able to have access to what you used to get to your point of proving what you're trying to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. I think that the DA needs to stop with the argument for every single thing in discovery and give the defense what they want, because at the end of the day, if you're using it, you're looking for justice, let them fight for their client too. That's what the Constitution says.
Boy, I so agree with you. And I can tell you, I would have so many attorneys before me when I was on the bench that would bring their arguments as to, well, we shouldn't have to give them this. But I agree with you, transparency, unless there's a valid reason not to provide it. But let me ask you this. We know this week, the case in Mississippi against the father and son, the case father and son. In that case, the judge declared a mistrial because he said, in part, law enforcement clearly did not turn over a video interview of the victim in the case to the defense or the prosecution. So I wonder if that's why now they're really focused on. The state is saying on the record in this case, Marie, hey, by the way, we gave them everything we got from the lab. We've done that. We've given them everything. Do you think now in this day and age, though, there's some questioning of, did you really?
Did you really? Because like I said, lawyers like to argue. And who are you to say what they're allowed and what they're not? Because they're building their case. They know their defense and their strategy. So if they're simply asking you for something, you don't have to make sense of why they're asking you. They have the right to build their case and keep it confidential, as long as it's not like off the chain. Let the judge decide, and I see where this judge is going. The judge is going to be very open with discovery, because like you said, in that case in Mississippi, they failed to give key information during that interview to both the DA and the defense, which means no one had the chance to assess it and see if in fact it was something that was exculpatory. Maybe the alleged victim said something. If the DA had heard it, would have said, we're not bringing a charge against this father and son. Or it's something where the defense might have said, hey, we're not going to use this. But they should have been allowed access to it. Both sides, that detective messed it up for everyone.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. All right, I know we need to get to a break, but up next, you're not going to want to miss the first witness is called talking about genetic genealogy. Stay tuned. You're watching Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
Oh, my God.
Tonight on Closing Arguments.
Oh no, I would you're muted. I was over here reading a lot of comments and shit. I was saying I was like, let's go back over this. State tries to object Dr. Larkin's presentation about genealogy terms, saying that they haven't seen the PowerPoint because they didn't know about it until today. Judge gives them 10 minutes to review it before she testifies. We're back in recess. So then after the recess, Guy says, back on the record, state asked the court to reserve their cross-examination to consult with their own experts after looking through Dr. Larkin's PowerPoint. That's granted, which means Dr. Larkin may come back another time for more questions. Presentation now underway from Detective Stalky Pickens. So we'll see how that works out, We'll see how that works out. I think BK is heavily medicated, says Lollipop. Eastern says, wow, his jaw going today? You think so? Sylvie says, he's enjoying all this attention. Why have I seen this name so many times? Sylvie. I remember you, Sylvie. What's going on, Brian? Welcome. I was definitely muted. I had to go take Tylenol, though, to knock down this a little bit. I took that DualSense Advil earlier, and my fever is just going crazy. I just checked. It was actually 102, which is pretty damn high. Friggin' 102. I can't stand to look at him. Here, let me catch up. I know we're good now. Who was that talking? T-REV? What? Where? Detective Stalky Pickens. He said, dude, LOL. Wish there was a live court stream. I know, right? Can we get a live court stream out here? Maybe Detective Stalky Pickens will order that one for you. We'll get that one coming. Tylenol for sure. The defense would throw a damn fit if the prosecutors drop something on them without notice. Sound like you all clogged up. I am, bro. I can smell still, but I'm clogged. I'm super clogged. Let's see if we got any updates from the courtroom, though, because we need those. Back on the road? Yeah, so we're still waiting. I don't know what's going on, but definitely doesn't seem like that's the end. They're in a presentation, so we're just waiting for the results from that. So you're funny. I wonder where his mom and dad watch. They could be on video. You know what I mean? They could be watching from video. 100%. Defense trying to pollute the jurors of potential bullshit. Yeah, bet they would. Ewa says, I do believe Bryan is involved, but I feel like others are also involved. Like more than just one person. I feel like there were multiple. That's what comes into play with those 3 other DNA profiles. Where exactly were they in the house? Were they just found in unknown spots that weren't near the murder scene where the murder scene took place at? That's what I'm confused about. But hey, defense trying to pollute the jury. Okay, I read that. Darzilla says you're doing a great job. Hope you get feeling better. Do you think this will really go to trial in October? Absolutely not. I think that trial will be pushed off. You need to take a COVID test, says Low. I feel like that's the inner Mima screaming in the chat right now at me. My Mima would make me do, you need to take that test right now, or I'll get to check the Stalky Pickens on it. You know, grandma don't play. Mima. And Mima, they're saying that she is gonna die like any day now, so it's like we're going through that too. So I know there's a lot of crap going on, you know, but it just, you know, it won't stop me. Nothing's gonna stop me. His smile looks so forced, says Mark Willis. There is no unidentified DNA. Tell him Midwest Mima going ham in the chat. She said, "Get the fuck out of here!" She said, "Get the hell out of here with that 3 other DNA profiles and take those 3 other profiles and shove it up your arse." Mima's going ham in chat. All right, here we go. Let's get back to this.
You can't respond to something
Stalky Pickens
isn't real. Sorry, Judge.
I mean, we're just sorting it out.
Yes, sir.
Making sure that everything that there is shared. Except for the ones that you don't want to.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
And that's one of the reasons we're here.
We'll make an additional inquiry to the lab to see if there's anything else in the form of emails that they haven't already provided to us.
I would add, I mean, there are times, okay, in the world of the law, that sometimes people forget to do things, or sometimes things fall through the cracks, and so it's always healthy to make sure that it is done thoroughly.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
You're already called Steve Mercer.
Okay. Are your just going on the phone? Are your experts in the courtroom right now?
Yeah.
Do they need to be in the courtroom?
Your Honor, I ask that they be allowed to remain in the courtroom, seated where they are, so they're just kind of alone.
Right. Any objection to that? I don't know who to point to here.
Sure, we also have the witnesses excluded.
I'm going to exclude your witnesses, so they're not hearing what the other witnesses are testifying by, and that'll be, I think, a cleaner, more accurate response. So then I don't want to have them reacting to the other testimony. We'll hear each testimony, each witness's testimony be independent. Okay, so could you please have your other experts
Where would the court like them to go? This is a media intensive environment, and I don't want them to be bothered by media walking.
The law library.
May I escort them there?
Sure. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Mercer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Okay, Mr. Mercer, hang on. Please raise your right hand. Hey, yeah, please.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Mercer. Go ahead.
Dr. Shelby Pickens convicted him.
And once you're seated, would you please state your name and spell your last? Yes, my name is Stephen with a PH Mercer, M-E-R-C-E-R. All right, thank you, sir. Okay, Ms. Taylor.
Good morning, Mr. Mercer.
Good morning.
What city and state are you from?
Rockville, Maryland.
What do you do for work?
I am a licensed attorney in Maryland in the District of Columbia in the field of criminal defense with area of specialization in DNA and forensic litigation.
How long have you been an attorney?
I was licensed in the state of Maryland in 1995 and in the District of Columbia in 1997. I'm also a member of several federal bars, including the Supreme Court, where I appeared as co-counsel in Maryland v. King, a DNA database case from 2013, as well as the Fourth Circuit, the DC Circuit, and a number of federal district courts.
I want to back up a little bit and have you tell me about your educational background.
So I have an undergraduate degree, bachelor's degree in English from Syracuse University, 1984. Juris Doctor JD from the District of Columbia School of Law from 1994.
And you mentioned you have a specialty in DNA. Where does that come from?
So my experience with DNA began with the first constitutional challenge to Maryland's DNA database statute, and that started in 2002 in the case of State v. Raines, where it raised a Fourth Amendment challenge to the compelled collection of DNA from convicted offenders. Prevailed on that case in the trial court. It was appealed to the Court of Appeals, which is now called the Maryland Supreme Court. The Maryland Supreme Court, in a sharply divided 4-3 decision, reversed, sent it back to the trial, tried the case, and that was really the beginning of my experience with forensic DNA litigation. And then from that point, I continued in that field, attended training with the District of Columbia Public Defender Service. I began to collaborate with the Innocence Project and the Forensics Division at the Maryland Office of the Public Defender, doing indigent defense work and innocence work, and began to work closely with DNA scientists who actually did the wet chemistry work, had numerous opportunities to tour law enforcement labs, including the NIST lab, as well as Montgomery County's lab, Lodi Technology, the FBI lab, as well. And so I continued working in the field, providing both direct representation in DNA cases as well as consultation through my private practice. And then in 2010, the public defender recruited me to head up the forensics division at Maryland's Office of the Public Defender, which is a statewide public defender system. And then there, I really dived much deeper into the field of DNA forensic litigation at that time. And if there's some questions, I can explain that further.
I may ask you some others about that in just a moment. Would you tell me about any publications, any articles?
Yes, so I published an article, co-authored an article in Maryland's DNA Data Bank back in the early 2000s following the State v. Reigns decision. I also published an article in the NYU's Law Review about shadow DNA data banks with a co-author, Jessica Grable. And those are the principal articles with respect to forensic DNA.
And I think you mentioned a couple of professional organizations that you belong to. Are there others?
Yes, so I'm a member of the jurisprudential section of the American Academy of Forensic Sciences, and I've given presentations there. For example, in 2018, I gave a presentation on proposed regulation of the field of forensic genealogy. And then I'm also a member of the National Criminal Defense Attorneys Association and a number of local bar associations in Maryland, as well as the State Bar Association.
Check the Stalky Pickens on the stand.
You mentioned forensic genetic genealogy. Can you tell me your background related to that?
So following really the advent of forensic genealogy in 2018, that is when I had the opportunity to litigate cases, criminal cases involving that technique, the testing and the investigation related to the testing, and to receive discovery of the testing and the interpretation of the test results that were obtained through searching of genetic databanks.
You are here on Bryan Kohberger's case. How did you become involved in this?
Yeah, so the question was, what would a reasonable defense attorney do when confronted with DNA evidence that needs to be litigated? What are the minimum practice standards? So I'm not here to...
All right, this is all about DNA evidence and what the defense needs to do with that evidence. And remember, this is something we're going to hear testimony come up about, the importance of all of this given.
Now let's check the live updates while we're waiting for this, because they have a delay on that. We can get to updates where they're at now. So let's see. We seen this one. Okay, here it goes. Dr. Larkin currently being questioned by Kohberger's defense, led by Ann Taylor. She's explaining the nitty-gritty on what genetic genealogy is, what certain terms mean, the testing process, etc. Thank you. So that was literally the no, let's not quote it. Let's post it. Repost. So that's literally that all there was. That's the only update there was during that whole time. Okay, hold up. Defense calling in. We seen that. Let's actually go back to the front of this page here. See if there's really anything updated. Nothing. The last thing was the nitty gritty on what genetic genealogy is, what certain terms mean, the testing processes, etc. So that was the last updated. Yeah, that's the last one right here. 5 minutes ago. Let's catch up here. We'll just wait. We'll wait to see it. When that comes back on, we'll continue watching it from there, and we'll stay on top of with the updates from here. So we'll get the updates from now, and we'll keep watching what we missed earlier. I mean, we really didn't miss anything because we read it already, but in general, it's better seeing it on video than it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, they're challenging the grand jury indictment, so that's why they're doing what they're doing right now. No matter what you think, Detective Stalky Pickens has not been convicted. He says King Leonidas. King Leonidas. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Stop. You're making me. She's bored, Anita says. Stalker Picky. Why don't defense ask CC more? She knows this subject better than this guy named Larkin. Yep, we're still waiting, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll get to that. Let's see what else I've been tagged in. The latest update is what you're looking at on your screen right now. I'm looking for other footage and everything else on my other one right now. So let's see what we can find. Zoom in on that. I don't want to ruin that. Whoa, what is this? Fairly shocking. Secret medical. Okay, I see what you tagged me in. Beautiful, messy. I see that. Well. Back in session. Important note. Okay, I see people following that. Verse Arius. Oh, God. We remember that. We remember that very well. So laugh my ass off. I like when you talk that to you. Get me every time. Hey, got to find something out of an infection, right? Fever equals infection for sure. I don't know what infection it is, but we'll find out because I'll go check. Because CC Moore will say that IgG is just a tip, says misbehaving. Danny Martin says, hey, Gypsy, I'm going to sit in the sun and have this on the TV. Got to have the phone, though, for chat, says Danny. Helen says, Larkin is not a guy. It's Leah Larkin, I believe. Yeah, I think it's Lee Larkin. So for these updates. Anything? 8 minutes ago, seen it. Nothing. It's the private detective Stalky Pickens case, says lady. That's funny. Smash the like button. Candy, thank you. I appreciate you, Candy Rapper. Valdis, aka Valdis the legend. We have missed you, T-REV, for you and your family. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. LZ's mama said, the judge said earlier that there wasn't a lot of time before October to gather more evidence, and they are all running out of time before October. I think October is happening. You know how wild that'll be if trial takes place in October? Man, how long did it take for Valo to get to her trial? You know? How long did it take Valo to get to her trial? DoorDash, a huge chicken soup for Din. Larkin Smarkin. Anita back rub. Nothing yet. Nothing. Can't wait till I drop this next documentary, though. Y'all are going to love it. I hope trial is in October and get this dude on the row, says 614 Woody. Get this dude on the row. So I definitely, as somebody that is skeptical of certain things, when they mention those 3 DNA profiles, it's not like the friggin' prosecution can go up there and punch them off the friggin' stand and make them stop saying that. They'll refute it. You know what I mean? They already went through a grand jury indictment and got this dude indicted. They're fighting on the stand today to see if they can get that dropped. I don't think it's going to get dropped personally. I don't see it getting dropped. I really don't. Hope they don't make the families wait longer than October, says Blank 66. Crime and hyperfocus. Rona hit me last year, temperature of 104, but had mouth sores only. Maybe that's why I have a mouth sore. Now I'm about to go get a test because you said that. Let's update and check for some updates here. Let's stay on top of it. 27, 10 minutes. Let's go to here. Okay, here we go.
Effective in your representation of a client given
Stalky Pickens back on the stand.
When you're talking about 2 samples happening, or 2 tests happening, why should an attorney know about that?
Well, there are a number of reasons why it's crucial for the attorney to investigate any testing of evidence that is central to a case. And again, here it's an environmental sample of trace DNA that is being tested. And so it's essential for the attorney to know, for a number of reasons, about the details of the testing and the investigation when we're talking specifically about forensic genealogy. Number one is there's pretrial concerns. And those pretrial concerns that can be raised would involve suppression issues and potentially Fourth Amendment issues. These are questions that are very much evolving in the state of our litigation. But to understand the viability of a Fourth Amendment challenge, there has to be a factual investigation. There has to be a determination of the conduct that law enforcement undertook during the forensic analysis of the genealogy. So, for example, was it fast and loose? Was there searching of data banks that violated the terms and conditions of those data banks? Was there surreptitious DNA collection from individuals, targeted individuals in family trees? So these are very fact-specific inquiries that the attorney must know in formulating a suppression challenge under the Fourth Amendment, because it's all about reasonable expectations of privacy. And what's really critical here is to understand it, and this is close to me from my litigation. Early on, the government and law enforcement's argument was always there are minimal privacy interests at stake because forensic DNA profile is like a fingerprint. And it says nothing about who the person is. But now with forensic genealogy, we're talking about genomic profiles, potentially whole genomic profiles, or at the very least a SNP profile, single nucleotide polymorphism profile, single nucleotide polymorphism. An SNP profile that contains a vast amount of information that is very, very private. And so this is a real game changer in the privacy interests that are at stake, and that the attorney needs to understand in investigating the case to assess and to evaluate that suppression issue, that Fourth Amendment issue. So that's one issue pre-trial. There's also concerns about reliability. And by reliability, I'm not talking necessarily about the forensic genomic profile, but I'm talking about the STR profile. And again, because as I understand it from the pleadings, there were multiple tests on the same evidence, environmental sample and trace DNA. One produced a STR profile that I understand from the pleadings is represented as being a single source male profile. The reliability of that needs to be investigated, and certainly through one aspect of that is investigating the laboratory documentation that is provided for the STR testing. But we also have to appreciate, and again, I'm not a DNA scientist or a biologist.
Get to the damn point.
With experts, and I need to know.
It's not like fucking Detective Stalker.
And one thing that I do realize in looking at this is when there's multiple tests of the same piece of evidence, and you have a genomic profile, in other words, potentially the entire human genome that is typed from this environmental sample trace DNA, or at least an SNP profile, which is somewhere in the neighborhood of 700,000 locations of data. What does that tell us about the STR profile markers? So, for example, the STR profile markers, which are typed, are 20 out of 30,000 STR markers overall. And so what I would be investigating with a qualified expert is, number one, and I don't know from the pleadings if there's a whole genome profile that's been developed for the forensic genealogy, but if there is, that should contain STR markers. What does that tell us about the reliability of the STR testing? Is there any potential for artifacts? Is there any potential for an undetected low-level mixture? Those types of questions that are potentially available to inquire and ask about, where you have multiple tests of the same piece of evidence, and it's an environmental sample of trace DNA. Now, if it's just an S&P profile, I say just, but that's 700,000 locations of information that is like a probabilistic future diary of someone's health, medical, and all manner of conditions that are linked to genetics. That may not have the STR markers in it itself, but it will have information, S&P markers in the neighborhood of, so to speak, of STR markers that will also shed light potentially on those STR markers and the reliability of those STR markers. So these are, particularly in a capital case, crucial areas of inquiry that must be undertaken by the defense team in conjunction with experts that they retain. But they can't even decide what experts to retain without having the discovery. And that's the minimum practice standard. And that's a point that I've made in testimony before courts where I've been accepted as an expert in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia, that the minimum practice standard is that the attorney must obtain discovery of the scientific testing of an evidence sample. And that, particularly so in a capital case, and particularly where we're talking about an environmental sample of trace DNA, it's absolutely crucial to get that discovery, because then that informs the scope of the investigation, the experts to hire, and what have you. Now, also with respect to forensic genealogy, it's important not to separate this out into all these different components.
So this is really interesting. This defense witness is basically
They
saying
even
to the
got
judge,
tired of it.
listen, these are the things you have to decide in these pretrial motions and what you're going to allow in and not on the DNA, because if you don't, it could be appealed, it could be overturned. Here's a standard of practice, judge, that you should follow. Stay tuned. We're going to get you right back into court on the other side of a short break, right where we're leaving off.
Right back in court. Okay, we got you. We got to hear damn Detective Stevie Pickens on there. Damn. All right, let's update this and see what we got as far as updates. There's got to be a couple for us. Okay, here we go. 14 minutes ago. Take this for whatever it's worth. Bryan Kohberger appears relaxed at the Idaho 4 hearing, eyes up, focused on witness testimony, and occasionally Ann Taylor as she asks questions, and prosecutor when they object. He briefly smirked as witness joked about spelling scientific terms. Such a joke. We're about 2 hours into the Bryan Kohberger court proceedings. Several motions are on tap today. Defense has called 2 witnesses, a Maryland criminal defense attorney who specializes in DNA and forensic investigations, and a California genetic genealogist who is on the stand now. Let's go ahead and repost. Okay, I see this. So back on the record, state asked the court to reserve their cross-examination to consult with their own experts after looking through Dr. Larkin's PowerPoint. All right, we did read that already, by the way. 55 minutes. So there's nothing new. There's nothing new besides watching the rest of that so far. Interesting. Hey, Texas Ranger, hold up. I'm recording this guy's voice to bore myself to sleep later when the insomnia hits.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Hit it. Time Traveler says, what's going on? He's doing his job, says Christine. Yeah, if you look at it like that, he definitely is. Zero says they had to go all the way to the other side of the USA to hire somebody. Ellen says, if I was the prosecution, I would let that guy in. The jury will be falling asleep. Hollis says, this trial will be a sleeper when they start the entire DNA bar.
Go ahead. Do it. I want you to.
Jason. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you, brother. God bless you. Shout out to Jason. We are waiting for this to update here. Damn. I had to take Tylenol. My shit was 102. Burning through the seat. No updates, though. What is going on here? Can we get some updates? 2 hours ago? Damn, it really has been 2 hours, huh? Interesting.
Carries on.
Okay. We're not back yet with that. All this guy understands doing is trying to discredit the DNA, make it look like the prosecution did wrong, make it look like whatever the hell he's talking about. I don't even know anymore. Load 12 says defense is just doing their job. Stormy says he's going to ruin my eye. Chris Doheny says BK. Oh, damn.
Damn!
TT today, Junior. Today, Junior. Candy Rapper says, Vicky, in my honest opinion, you have yours. No need to get you set. Fringe Report says, so they need to find out what experts to retain, huh? Translation, BK, what's an unlimited visa for his account? Damn, that's nuts. Supposed to be an expert? Damn. She put the poop sign. We need a little...
Block his ass. Bing bang.
Thank you. You smell jealous. I appreciate you. Shout out to You Smell Jealous. I appreciate you. Pick it up, Pickens.
Detective Stalky Pickens. I want to shout out R.M. Worthington, the other Aaron, Prosser Gang. We got more R in the building, Midwest Girl. Danny Martin. What a special human being that guy is. Danny Martin. Detective Stalky Pickens at your services. Lori says, I found out my brother has a son we didn't know about through my DNA test. He looks exactly like my brother. Lori says, wow. Interesting. Friends report. Oop, the timeout has ended for the king. Said the timeout has ended for the king. All right, let's go back in.
We bring it to you directly. So on that note, let's get you back into court. You haven't missed any of the testimony. On the stand right now is the very first witness called by the defense, Stephen Mercer. This is a licensed attorney. He is a criminal defense attorney who specializes in DNA, talking about the minimum standards and practices that should be allowed.
With respect to forensic genealogy, it's important not to separate this out into all these different components. It is, you have the S&P testing, and then you also have the development of these family trees, through database searching. This is all part of the same testing and experiment. They go really hand in hand, and you can't unravel them. They really have to be considered together as a single core of different strands of the testing and experiment, because the attorney needs to know how these family trees have been developed, because we're talking now about trial issues, and the government is introducing the STR profile. They have to introduce statistics that explain the significance of any STR match that the government is identifying as central to its case. And so the defense must investigate ways to cross-examine those statistics and the rarity of that match that the government is attaching great significance to. And so an area to look into and to inquire about are the limits of the statistical tool that the government is using or the state is using, which is based on the premise that sort of what's called the random person not excluded. And that's answering the question of the rarity of a profile in a population of unrelated people. But the key point there is unrelated. So we know there's no universe where a STR profile has no relatives. And in fact, in a case involving forensic genealogy, the way that the defendant is identified is by searching a pool of related people. And so we need to be able to investigate and evaluate the rarity of a profile within a related population. And that's a different question than what the government answers with its random person not excluded statistic that is typically used. And so, again, without the discovery of the forensic genealogy, both the testing as well as the experiments that are done with the test results, i.e. the database searches, as well as the family tree build-out, the attorney can't investigate that. And in that situation, by not investigating it, is not complying with their duty to investigate that is required, especially in the capital case.
I've heard you say that when you have a sample, in this case, the DNA sample obtained from a knife, that there's STR testing done.
Thank you,
And
Linda.
then when you have genetic genealogy testing, you end up with whole genome testing for an SNP profile. Did I understand that?
Yes, and it's unclear to me at this point what type of genomic profile was developed, whether it was a whole genome sequence or whether it was an SNP profile, which contains about 700,000 locations of very personal, private information.
I think I heard you say that no matter which one of those were done for genetic genealogy, that you need to look at those to test the reliability of the STR profile. Did I hear that right?
Yes, so this is, as an attorney and not a scientist, but as an attorney who has a duty to investigate, this now is an area where the attorney will look to retain a qualified expert who can evaluate and assess the linkages between an SNP profile or whole genomic profile and an STR profile. To be sure, an SNP profile or forensic genomic profile can't be searched in codex. It's not that type of situation. They can't be directly compared. But there are techniques that can evaluate if it is a whole genomic profile, you would look to a scientist who then would be targeting the areas of the whole genomic profile that comprise the STR profile to then evaluate the reliability of the STR profile, the potential for any mixture, the potential for any artifacts in the STR profile. Or if it's an SNP profile which doesn't have the STR locations in it, then you would look for an expert who understands that the neighboring regions around where the STR markers can be evaluated and assessed to provide information about what the STR markers indicate.
Can I clarify something? Sure. So what you're saying is that you need to look at the qualified.
All right, here's what I think the point of this is. The genealogy was used, we know, in order to investigate and point to the suspect of Bryan Kohberger. Now, this expert's saying, listen, how that family tree was developed, how that genealogy was used.
Genealogy. I mean, we
have to really do a deep dive on in order to afford him a proper defense. What is going to happen next? We're going to hit the pause button. Michael Ayala.
We're going to hit the pause button and
rest
go back to see what any updates are on here. Hold up 1 second here. The CIA, the FBI. I don't see it. 46 on the back of the record state ass. Okay, so I mean, I don't see nothing going on in here. Nothing. Where are the updates? Are they just completely sitting doing nothing right now? I don't see any updates whatsoever. Nothing. Not one update. Hold up, what did it say? Okay, yeah, there's no updates on here. That's wild. And that dude is like...
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
This said the white male Camilla Harris, Kingly, not who. Somebody says blocking somebody for nothing. Upstate housewife NY. Hey, y'all, not having an easy day. Did we see the court stuff yet? Nah, T's awake. Nah, I'm good. I just checked my fever before, 102, but I did take Tylenol, so we should be good. They are allowed to tweet in the courtroom, so not sure why there is no updates. Maybe they're done. Are they done? That's what we want to know. I see no updates being done. Besides, the last one was 31 minutes ago. From Dr. Larkin, currently being questioned by Kohberger's defense, led by Ann Taylor.
She's explaining the nitty-gritty on what genetic genealogy is, what certain terms mean, the testing processes, etc., says Detective Stokey Pickens. I don't know what's going on with that. In my opinion, these defense experts haven't shown anything that affects the case. BK buckle swab proves his DNA, and that was directly from his mouth. All this is just smoke and mirror attempt to create doubt, says Midwest Mima. His word salad. What is going on in there? Where's Brian Enton when you need him? That's a fact. Who would smirk while facing murder charges? TB smirked, laughed, etc. during his trial. Just saying. Tell him, Mickey. Rose C says, okay, take care, everyone. I am not leaving. We'll stop by or listen in. Hope Trev sees that. There he is. Help me step away from the YouTube true crime community streets somewhat because I don't do drama. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Screw Detective Stalky Pickens and Query. I don't know them guys. Never heard of them. They all fell asleep in the courtroom. Darzilla says no updates because nobody knows what the hell he is talking about. Yeah, he's up there going ham. I mean, he definitely is up there going ham. That's for damn sure. That is for damn sure. Trav, if a fever don't go down, you can alternate Tylenol and ibuprofen. Get a cool rag on your neck.
Oh my God!
Rules and laws need to be followed. Frax, for real, he's speaking French in that joint.
Man, you should have never did it, man. Man.
All right, I got it. Sorry, buddy. All right, change that there. Like I said, still no updates. Still no updates from somebody who's in there. Like, I guess dude can't catch him, or dude's going ham in there, and he's just like, what the hell is going on? Look at those hands. He probably just talking a bunch of bullshit to confuse everybody. Put some rubbing alcohol behind your knees, elbow crease, and back of neck. BK has killed them all and escaped. Lead with love. I cannot believe I forgot this hearing. I know nothing. Repeat anything. I know nothing. Repeat everything.
Autopsies were conducted, and the Latah County coroner confirmed
Okay,
the identity of the 4 victims. The cause and manner of death was homicide by stabbing.
These tragic murders took 4 young, vibrant lives from our community. Nothing we do can bring them back.
Good Friday afternoon to you. Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ashley Wilcott.
And I'm Michael Ayala, and we're both here today.
Put us back in the courtroom or no?
Proceed to justice. Right now, we're going to take you straight back into the Idaho courtroom where Bryan Kohberger is in court for a motions hearing. Now, it's happening inside this Latah County courthouse. Remember, he's charged with brutally stabbing 4 Idaho college students in their off-campus home in November of last year.
Attorneys are arguing several motions today on both sides, including the prosecution's motion over the defense's alibi claim that Kohberger was out for a drive by himself on the night of the murders. Let's get you back into court on the stand. You haven't missed any of the testimony. This is the very first defense witness. Stephen Mercer, he's a licensed attorney in the field of criminal defense, specializing, of course, in DNA, which is the topic the defense wants to address first. Let's get you back into court.
And SNP profile to compare it to the SPP profile for the reliability of the SPP profile.
The STR profile.
STR.
Yeah, so there could be clues, absolutely, that could be discerned from an analysis of the SNP or whole genomic profile. Because again, we're talking about 2 different tests of the same piece of evidence. And there have been, in peer-reviewed publication, I mean, one that comes to mind is Jae-Wah Kim, who published in the journal Cell about how an SNP profile can be linked to an STR profile. And that's by zeroing in on sort of the neighboring regions and examining those. So again, I'm not a biologist or scientist, but I'm an attorney, who has a duty to investigate, and to investigate requires hiring experts to examine this data, this discovery that hasn't been produced yet. And so that's why the minimum practice standard is to get that discovery, so that the attorney can then assess that discovery and then retain a qualified scientist to help understand the extent to which the SMP testing will shed light on the reliability of the STR testing that has already been done in the sanctioned study.
Okay, so that having that profile on the SMP can verify the legitimacy of the SPR.
Right, so that's my hypothesis. That's what I go to the expert to inquire about. Because again, this is a very much an emerging area of forensic science and litigation.
Sure.
And yes,
I'm going to object again. I don't believe that this witness is qualified to opine on what's needed in these scientific processes. He just indicated that it was his personal hypothesis. I would remove my objection on it.
Well, I'm going to overrule that because I asked any questions. I apologize. Go ahead, ask your next question.
When I talk about either the whole genome or the SMP profile, am I looking for just like a sheet of paper that has a bunch of numbers on it, or is there a packet of information that I need to go to my expert?
No, you need the raw data of the profile along with, it's similar to the sort of data that you obtain for the SDR testing. You get the raw data of the profile, you get the laboratory protocols, you get all the bench notes, how the profile was generated, but also you should get the discovery about how the profile was then searched in different databases and family trees constructed.
That was going to be my next question. I heard you say that we can't look at this whole genome sequencing or the SMP in one category and then look at the building the tree to identify from the genetic genealogy piece, the genealogist piece, in its own separate area. That they're not two separate lanes that they combine.
Yes, they go hand in hand. You do one or the other. I mean, they go together.
Why?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell me why? Can you explain why you say they go together, why I need both?
Well, the SMP profile is what is searched in the ancestry database to then identify, potential relatives. And then family trees are built out. That's the object of the SMP testing. What's important to know from a defense perspective in terms of trial work and potential areas of cross-examination, the government is going to be introducing a statistic that is premised on the assumption of an unrelated universe of people. So what's the chance of finding a profile in a population where there's no relatedness between that profile and anyone in that universe? And so, as you know from talking about this whole concept of forensic genealogy, people who are related have similar DNA. And so the statistics change when you are talking about the chance of finding a profile within a related pool or related universe of individuals. And that's a legitimate area of inquiry from cross-examination for the defense to demonstrate the limitations of the statistical questions that the state is presenting to its expert witness. And to do that, we need to know, for example, who the population of related people are, because often from my work on the forensic genealogy, what I've seen is that when a match is found, when the STR match is found, then all building out, all further testing stops on the forensic genealogy side. And so it's important to know who hasn't been tested on the related person side in terms of developing cross-examination about the limitations of the statistical tool that the state uses in its case to demonstrate the rarity of the match that you're presenting.
Have you received genetic genealogy materials in your case?
Yes. So, which wasn't surprising to me, because even though typically the government doesn't seek to introduce the forensic genealogy, in its case, it nevertheless is evidence that is a scientific test of material in the case. And so the discovery rules typically call, for example, in Maryland and the District of Columbia, call for discovery of scientific testing of evidence in a case, and that's regardless of whether the government is going to introduce it or not. DC is a little different, where it requires either a materiality showing or that the item is introduced into evidence. And so even though there's a limitation on the item being introduced into evidence, that really goes to the item tested, which here is the environmental sample of trace DNA. And of course, the government has twice tested it. And so for the attorney to be able to fulfill their duty to investigate and satisfy the minimum practice standards, they should have access to the scientific testing of that item of evidence, which is central to the case.
Isn't it just 1 minute? Mr. Mercer, I don't have any other questions. I'm going to be hanging on just a minute to trust you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I have no questions for this witness. Mr. and I will be making our rebuttal arguments.
Okay, thank you. Okay, may this witness be excused?
Let's welcome in at this time in Arizona, former criminal defense attorney who represented Jodi Arias, Kirk Nurmi. Kirk, always great to have you on. Thank you for joining us. This is interesting to me because here's what's happening is the defense is saying he's an expert defense attorney, specialty in DNA.
He's a special, blah, blah, blah.
To hear his testimony, and we want you to agree that the genealogy and all the statistics means that the defense has to have all this information and discovery so the court can then decide what comes into evidence and doesn't come into evidence. At least that's my takeaway. Kirk, what are your thoughts?
Ashley, I'm gonna see things a little differently and invite you to consider what we're really talking about here. When we hear words like defense, developing, cross, things of that nature, what's really at issue is the effectiveness of counsel. This might be the kind of testimony we see after somebody's convicted and sentenced to death, and they're challenged the effectiveness of counsel. What this expert seems to be saying when he talks about different jurisdictions, what have you, is, Judge, if you don't give the defense access to this information for their experts, developing cross their own case in chief, that they're going to be ineffective. That's really what we're talking about here, the effectiveness of counsel. And the defense is ultimately then trying to box the judge into a corner by saying, you have to give us this information or we're ineffective, and ultimately any sentence would be overturned on appeal. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Kirk, but I want to take it even a step further and see if you agree. I think what we're actually watching is the development of strategy for defense attorneys who are going to be representing folks who are being charged based on genetic genealogy. This is a new area of science. It's a new way for DNA to be used to connect people to crimes. And they're actually discovering now how to go about the discovery phase, which is all about how you deal and how effective you are as counsel. And they're developing the sort of the strategy now. This guy is an expert in that strategy, and now he's imparting to this court and eventually probably courts across the country how to go about providing information so that defense attorneys can be effective.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately he is describing the bar that must be hurdled, right? So the minimum requirements, what the state must do if they're going to use this information, whatever they use, they must turn over for these various reasons, the reason the expert described. Or a defense attorney is, especially in a capital case, is per se ineffective if they don't have this information. So what this expert seems to be doing, Michael, is kind of setting the standard in essence.
Would they be doing this if this was not a death penalty case, in your opinion, Michael?
Well, I think part of what they're doing here is, and we can get deeper into this when we have more time, but I think some of this is maneuvering by the defense, hoping that at some point they can get the death penalty taken off the table. I think they're taking a piece out of the playbook of Lori Vallow Davis.
I think so too. I don't know that it's going to be effective. I understand where you're going with that, but without the death penalty on the table, I don't think that we'd be hearing any of this testimony.
Fair enough.
All right.
All right, we're going to take a break, folks. Coming up, a live report from our own Chanley Painter, who has been inside the courtroom during this hearing. She's just feet away from Bryan Kohberger. She'll have a report. Keep us here on Court TV Live, your front row seat to justice.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, key takeaways from today's hearing in the Idaho college student murders case. Attorneys arguing several issues, including the defendant's alibi. Our experts are breaking down these motions and their impact on the upcoming trial. Plus, a Maryland mother of 5 found dead on a hiking trail the day after she was reported missing. We'll bring you the very latest developments in the investigation.
Closing Arguments, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
Ping ball.
Let the games begin.
All right, so they're on lunch, right? So they're playing back the delayed version of the court hearing. That's what they're playing back. Defense has finished their questioning of Dr. Larkin. Prosecution reserves their questioning again. Judge allowed them to question her at a later date. Defense says that they have 2 more witnesses to call, but expects Dr. Larkin's testimony was the longest. We still haven't touched on any of the other motions set on today's docket. We're entering an hour lunch break. Court set to resume at 2 p.m. So we got about another, let's see. We got another almost an hour. So that was that for that. I think I'm going to have to go run up to the urgent care if there's one in this area. Go rest so we can recap again. Yeah, I think I'm going to go. I'm gonna go up there and check real quick. Maybe get a fever still at 1. It's 101 now. I just took it, but it's going down a tad bit. But we'll come back. I appreciate everybody who came by. We'll come back. Let me see what's going on. I definitely need to go check it out because my fever is not going down, and I'm over here sweating bullets. But yeah, glad to be back with you guys, and I'll see you again soon. I'm sick and I came on. I'm crazy. But I'll see you guys here in a little bit. I'll keep you updated. Thank you all. Love you. Shout out to everybody here showing love.
Detective Stokey Pickens is on his way to the emergency room office. You know? Call me Stokey Pickens.
He goes by T-REV, so we'll call him that as well. And he joins us now.
People get killed for other stupid choices. Standing up for the families that took a loss. This something that we find important. Rap clean, strong, chest up. Little homie, keep your head up. You can be whatever you want. Get rid of the fake and it will lead up. All my life I strive for greatness. I'm manifesting my time with patience. People try to copy us, but respect is earned. It's not an obligation. I love the fam and they love me back, and that's why I always have the backs. I give a voice to those people who were never given a chance for them slimy cats. When you come here, you ain't a number to me. I really take time to read what I see.